me, code switching is when a person who knows two languages and is talking in one of them suddenly changes the code and starts talking in his or her second language. It's basically when you are talking or speaking to someone in a language and then you switch or change into that.
Code switching is actually whenever you are undergoing a conversation, it means that you alternate between two languages. Okay, you use in a language and then you switch into another language. Basically, that's what code switching is.
Okay, the relationship between code switching and bilingualism lies on the fact that bilingual people obviously know two languages or more and therefore are able to practice this code switching. I think bilingual people tend to switch their codes depending on their situation, and the thing is that as they are able to do it, they can do it in different situations and for different purposes.
Actually, the relationship between code switching and bilingualism is there is a close relationship since when you are fluent in two languages, you tend sometimes to forget the meaning of a word in your own language on the other language, and then you replace it or you use this term in the other language. So I guess there is a very close relationship between code switching and bilingualism.
Okay, as a teacher, I consider that code switching is definitely a teaching tool. Actually, from my experience, I have learned that with students who have a low level or that are just starting to learn English, code switching is very useful since they can understand very particular concepts or words which are not very clear to them and which in context sometimes are not very clear. So definitely code switching helps me or has helped me as a teacher to, let's say, move on some of my lessons and to clarify some things, some aspects.
Yeah, I do think that code switching is an excellent tool in teaching, especially for low levels courses of English or another language. You certainly need to make use of the code switching in order to explain or to clarify doubts for students that might not be too familiar with an L2.
Okay, lexical borrowing is, or what I know as borrowing only, is when you take a word that is from a foreign language and you just include it as it is in your native language. So you just take like the concept in, let's say, in English, for example, and you use it directly in Spanish, for instance.
Actually, is when lexical borrowing actually is when you borrow a word from a foreign language into your own language, and I do think that this is a very common thing now in all languages. We borrow words from other languages and we use them in our mother tongue.
To me, the difference between code switching and lexical borrowing lies in the fact that code switching is more continuous, right? In code switching, you are just expressing a whole message and then you suddenly switch the code, but you continue talking and talking and talking, and then you could even maybe switch the code again. But lexical borrowing only is taking just one word or one concept or one idea and putting it right into the language you're using, which is of course different to the one which belongs to the word you included. So basically, code switching it's used for, I would say, longer ideas or longer expressions, or it has more continuity than lexical borrowing.
Code switching is changing one language into another during a conversation or a lecture or a lesson. Whereas lexical borrowing are words that become part of another, foreign words that become part of another language. Basically, that's what it is.